Hello and welcome to another episode of Learning Shit About Parenting Nobody Bothered to Teach You. The show where we talk about all those parenting things that everybody thought you would just work out for yourself and pick up along the way while still avoiding messing your kids up for life. The place where we share all that vital information they usually keep just for the professionals. They say there's no book on parenting. I say there's no reason you can't take notes. So stay tuned for today's session where we'll be looking at warning. Learning about attachment can be triggering. It can make us think about our childhoods and the way we parent. So before you start, if you're struggling at any point during this episode, I would suggest you tune into one of the meditations to help to stop your mind from going into hyperdrive and bring you back to your body. Check out the links below. So last week, we learned a little about what attachment is and why it's such an important feature of growing up, how it sets the stage for all our future relationships, and not just that, but also the way that we understand and view ourselves, as well as engage with and respond to the world. Attachment is such a critical topic that nobody is really talking about outside of the world of professional social work, psychology, or psychotherapy. It's knowledge that seems to be kept for the elite few, the researchers, the professors, and the decision makers, when actually it's something that could really change the way a person understands themselves and functions on a day-to-day basis. And more importantly, it could help parents to understand why they parent the way they do, why they react the way they do, and how they're shaping their children's entire world through their own attachment pattern. So it's kind of maybe just a little bit of an important thing. Like I said last time, I really do believe that change is sparked by just a small amount of awareness, because with that awareness comes the ability to choose, rather than just doing the same thing that we've always done, and in a lot of ways, the same thing our parents and their parents have always done. That's kind of what attachment is like, a pattern of behavior that is subconsciously passed down through the ages, because we as human beings learn by what we experience. We learn it and then we forget we ever learned it, but it's still there. When it comes to attachment, there are essentially two different types of experiences we can have. We either respond to the behavior of our parents or caregivers in a way that's organized, or we can have what we would refer to as a disorganized response. And what this means is that essentially, when we're very young, we learn to respond to the way we're treated, either in a way that makes sense or in a way that is more chaotic. So these responses are the same responses that we then carry through the rest of our lives, hence the reason we call them patterns. They're habits that are so deeply formed that after a while, we don't even know it's something we learned to do and simply take it for granted. And even if we have an organized attachment, just because we can seem to respond in a way that's organized rather than chaotic, it doesn't necessarily mean that those reactions, those behaviors, those patterns, and those habits are necessarily healthy. Because as children, we learn to develop responses to our parents' behavior that are both functional and dysfunctional, even if they're organized. Organized attachment just means that the response makes sense to the behavior that's being shown to us as children. It doesn't necessarily mean that the behavior being shown is normal, functional, or reasonable. And this is really what it comes down to. How our parents treat us caused our attachments to be formed. We're simply reacting to the stimulant, the trigger in front of us, so that we can survive. And through this, we develop what we call either secure or insecure attachments. It's like this. Baby Jimmy is in his cot and wakes up. He's all alone. It's dark and he's wet and hungry. So Jimmy does the only thing he knows how to do when he has all these sensations he can't possibly name yet. He cries. And because Dad has a pretty healthy and secure attachment himself, he recognizes that Jimmy might need something. Dad is able to attune himself to what Jimmy might need. So Dad goes into Jimmy's room, picks him up, and starts to soothe him. He talks calmly and quietly to him because he can feel that Jimmy is upset and needs for someone to be there for him to help him feel a little relief. Slowly, Jimmy starts to calm down, crying more quietly until this subsides into little hiccups. And because Dad's internal state is attuned to Jimmy's internal state, Dad knows what Jimmy needs and is able to make him feel calm. But because Dad is sensitive to Jimmy and Jimmy is still squirming and seems a little uncomfortable, he realizes that maybe there is something else wrong, something else that Jimmy needs. Dad tries to burp him first, but this doesn't work and Jimmy starts to cry again. Undeterred and understanding that Jimmy is just trying to express himself the best way he can, Dad tries a few more things until he finally has Jimmy in a dry nappy and peacefully sucking on a bottle. Dad is calm, even if it took a while and was a little stressful. And Jimmy knows that the next time he's hungry or cold or wet or in pain, he can rely on his dad to respond sensitively and appropriately to his needs. Even if it gets a little hairy in the middle, Jimmy knows he's loved and he has someone he can count on to be there for him when he needs it. And most importantly, Jimmy now knows that he deserves to be fed, to be held, and to be comforted when he needs it. And that he doesn't have to pretend he's okay when he's not, or go to crazy lengths to get these things from someone. Not Dad, not anyone. This is what we would call a secure attachment in process, where a parent presents themselves as available, sensitive, and responsive to their child's needs. They are attuned to their needs. They're balanced and able to regulate their body, their emotions, and their state of mind. And they're coherent, as in things make sense, not only in the moment, not only in their behavior, but within themselves and between them and their child. This type of parenting teaches a child that they can trust their parents and predict their behavior, and through this, they can predict other people's behavior. And what's more, if they receive this type of response over and over again, they learn to explore new connections with new people, with confidence, and it really helps to secure their well-being throughout their life. This type of parenting allows space for a child to manage their thoughts, their feelings, and in turn, their behavior. And as a result, securely attached children ultimately feel worthy of love and grow securely in themselves. It's also generally the case that children with secure attachment patterns can hold on to healthy relationships and regulate their emotions and behavior appropriately. So listen, as I said at the beginning of this episode, learning about our attachments can be challenging. Sometimes it makes us think about the way we were parented, and sometimes it makes us think about our own parenting. So, now we've got to the end of the episode, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes for a minute. Don't worry, I'm not looking. And just take a deep breath in. And breathe it out. Just let it all go. Maybe take another. Maybe just one more. I want you to remember there are no perfect parents, and no one is securely attached all the time. There are no perfect parents, and no one is securely attached all the time. I want you to ask yourself these questions and be kind Did I try my hardest as a parent? Did my parents give what they could? Have I loved my children to the fullest, to 100% of what I have to offer? And did my parents love me, even if they messed up sometimes? And if I had known more, would I have done differently? If they had known more, could they have done differently? I would imagine that the answer to all of these questions is yes. Because I'm yet to meet a parent that didn't give 100% of what they had to give. And I doubt that you'll be the first. Okay. Breathe in. And then let it go. I said, breathe in. And I said, let it go. And go ahead and open your eyes. Have a stretch. Welcome back. And if you like that and you want more, maybe check out one of the meditations we use on the Renegade Parenting Program that can help calm a busy mind. Just check the descriptions below. Okay, as always, big props for coming and even bigger props for staying to the end. I really hope that some of this, if not all of it, has been helpful and that you might have the opportunity to implement some of this learning in your own lives. But for now, if you'd like more information on this topic, as well as a variety of parenting topics, check out our website, our Facebook page, our LinkedIn, and more stuff just like this on YouTube. All the links are below. And as always, if you like my style and you want to work with me directly, I'd love to see you on the next Renegade Parenting Program. Check out the website for upcoming dates at www.renegadeparenting.org/RPP. And remember, spaces are limited.